Okay, so we're just going to jump straight into it and continue on with what we're doing. So, previous one we've done this. We are sort of contemplating the amount of UDIM space that we're using already, but it means that we got a really nice high res texture, and we can put a lot of detail into it. And if it's too much, you can always reduce this at the end. But anyway, cool. So I did talk through about most of what I did, but I don't think it matters so much now. So we can actually delete some of these because we're going to be using quite a lot of UDIMs. We can cull some of this geometry. Don't really need it because it's going to be hidden. Cool. That's exactly why. Look at it, you're never going to see it. So, same as before. Just going to go delete the history on that now. UV, delete UVs, and UV camera based. So what I want to do is figure out where I want to make my seams. So I'm going to make one here. And cut those. Let's cut it there and see. I'm fairly confident this is going to be pretty nasty on the inside if I do this. And we kind of want that. If you let us have a look at our reference, you don't really see any directional metal, so let's Control U and see how crazy that looks. Just see what happens if you optimize that. Gonna be pulling because we've got this curve up here. It's always gonna be quite difficult with shapes like this, and you have to sort of weigh up how much you want to clean up afterwards. This should be relatively easy to sort of clean up. So I'm just gonna set and we probably maybe we are using a little bit too much UV space for what we need. Sew that back. I think we're probably using too much. I think something like that should be okay. Just because thinking about it, we've got much larger bits to go still. Let's Control U on that. Cut these edges here so it doesn't So it comes out flat. So if we get that, do we want to do that? It's a tough decision to because obviously it's going to look much better, but it's just going to be quite a lot heavier. I guess it depends on how close we're going to see it. So that's one of the other bigger factors. When you're actually closer to the subject, you're going to need much higher resolution UVs, so you can pick up the detail. I think that so if we put in, so that's 48 pixels on a 4K map. Sign existing material. I think that might be all right. We've got some strange stuff going around here, so we'll probably actually fix that. Let's cut that. Cut there. Looks much nicer. There's less warping around here. We can always upscale this if we want to. So I don't think we're going to be seeing it terribly close. So I'm quite happy to take a hit on that. So I think this is probably going to be our set that at an even 50. Why not? So we need to cut that as well because it's too much of a loop. Although what? Oh, it's because we've got this in here as well. Maybe undo that. I didn't realise. I completely forgot about that bit in there. Let's edit pen selection. When we start getting to a bit more complex shapes, it might not like it as much, but usually it works pretty well. If you can optimize, and it should re-optimize out the stretchiness. If that's the correct word. And we'll set that. We'll just place this up here. We'll do the same for this eye. Cut. UV and select the edge, press R. Edit. Pin. Control U, UV shell, edit, unpin all, and optimize. So you can skip these. I don't want you to. Just make sure you set them so they're the same textual density. I just want to go through the whole thing. There are absolutely no tutorials online that do this sort of thing. So I hope that it helps out. No tutorials that have it all in the same place, should I say. There are sort of tutorials on this, but they're all like, let's UV in 5 minutes. And that's great. Some of you guys want to follow along. There's not really much you can follow along with a speed run. I don't know, sometimes you just want quick answers. You might get stuck at some points. You might not. You might do one of these and just be like, yeah, it's done. UVing is not the most interesting, I must say. But it needs to be, it doesn't always need to be done. I shouldn't really say that, but it's good if you do it. So we've got to be honest, I don't know why I delete that. Actually, don't know why I kept that bit, because effectively you're not going to see it anyway. Let's cut that. And we can stitch together. We can go cut and sew, move and sew together. So now that's moved it down to here, but we need to optimize that so it unstretches it. I think I'll only do 2 videos. I don't know, maybe I'll undecided how many I'll do on UVing, because it will be just lots of videos of doing the same thing. I'll decide at the end of this, see how far we go. Because then it'll just be quicker and you're not sat watching me do UVing. And it's all going to be basically the same. I've got lots of tutorials already on UVing. And I'm just using this same technique throughout. It's like I'm not going to change technique. It's just, that's it. This is what I'm going to do. So, and it's just organizing where you want stuff. So I'm actually going to move this down to here. Just so now it gives me options to have longer UVs up here. I sort of tuck these in here. Cool. So we're getting there. Oh yeah, it's got different UVs. So we need to, what we'll do first is organize these. And maybe we can probably get some of these in sharing. Don't have to split them. We can always change this if we want to. There's nothing stopping us. But now I can keep those together instead of having a seam. And that should be fine. We can use tri-planar on that. Might even be able to tuck these down here. Cool. And you can see we've actually got a much better use of space now. We still can't really have those on the end. Let's just put this nice and tightly packed together. Forget these little bits. Move this along. Just getting a bit better use of our UV space now, really. Instead of just getting the full whack with texel density. I do forget that I am just doing this on my home computer. I don't have a very powerful computer. So I can use my, I can drag this along, or I can move it one unit across or one UDIM across. I can do the same with these. Look, and now I've organised them into the sort of correct texel space, UDIM space. So I'm just going to continue doing this. Let's see how far we get through. Just looking at the rest of this. This is all going to be the same pretty much. So I think once I've done this head, I'm just going to go through and do the whole body, just so, because this could be like a couple hours of UVing here, and you probably don't want to sit through and watch pointless UVing for a while. Well, it's not pointless, but probably don't have to really watch all of it. Cool. So because these originated as spheres, they kind of already started off with a fairly decent UV, but we need to sort of finish this bit off. I'm just going to cut there. And these are going to be just painted like a dark black anyway. So we need to sew that actually, because we had that selected. So we can just Control U. Control U on that. And I'm not too bothered about these. These are literally just going to be light blockers. What's that? Oh, it's the eyes. So let's select all that apart from those eyes. We've got some. These are all the bits we've done. We could safely tuck these. We probably could reduce these a lot, but not too fast, because they're just going to be light blockers, and just in case, it's nice to make sure it's there. Obviously got some not best UVs in there, but it shouldn't matter. Cool. And these used to be cinders, so we should actually be able to just go UV shell and Control U. We can optimize those. Don't forget they're stacked on top, so set the text density on those. We can probably tuck these away in here. Try and keep all the little bits, the sort of headpieces together. Cool. So we're almost done the head, and we're at 20 minutes. I'm just conscious about how long it's taken me to do stuff, so cool. And I wouldn't say we really need to UV these, but we will do it anyway. And hopefully this might orientate them correctly. Yep. And cool. We can place these. These are going to be emissive, so you kind of want to keep them in a separate tiled for ease, but for now we'll leave them in a separate tile. Just so we know that we've got separate, because we have got effectively, because you want to kind of like separate your UDIMs into like metals and like glass and emissive materials or anything else, or effects sort of particle generator stuff. But for this case, we probably don't need to, but we'll just do it anyway. Cool, so we've actually done the head. Done the head now. And I'm just going to go through and do the whole body now. If you've got any questions how I've done the whole body, it's going to be pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to go through and do the whole thing as I've just done those. It would literally just be me going, rinsing and repeating on all the tutorials. And if you've got any questions that you're having real problems with, if you just look back at these tutorials, and I've also got loads of UV tutorials as well. Do I want to go through and do all these? I should really, shouldn't I? It's not really complete. Oh God, we'll just do it. You can stop watching now if you don't want. Yeah, and we'll just do it in sections. We'll do it real quick. We'll do this. So we've done UV'd the head, and now we'll go through and do the torso. So I know I've just blabbered on, but hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.